welcome again to another episode of the Long Gone Loser Rock Show. And today we're going to talk about, well, it's kind of like one guy particularly who's done a bunch of stuff, and that is DION LUNADON, who was in the D4. D4 is a band that I met many years ago when I was doing a zine, and I interviewed them a couple of times and ended up lending them amplifiers and stuff when they toured through, which is quite an amusing story actually. They played a show at Fowler's Live in Adelaide with Annual and Ice by the Trail of Dead and Mogwai. The D4 were the opening band, and I get this phone call from my friend in Sydney, and he was helping out the band, but he rings me up and he says, "Hey man, can the D4 use your amplifier?" Now, for those who don't know, I have a JCM 800 Marshall amplifier, and it's like from 1983. It's just a great rock and roll amplifier, and you know, it's so fucking loud, and it's just a, you know, anyone who knows what a JCM 800 from the early 80s is like, you know it's a beast of an amplifier, and it fucking weighs a ton, which is a nightmare for me trying to carry it. I said, sure man, they can borrow it, whatever, no worries. And so it was cool to see them, you know, using my amplifier on stage. But I remember I was sitting downstairs and I was talking to the guitar player, you know, while they're doing a changeover between Trail of the Dead and Mogwai. And I was talking to the guitar player from Trail of the Dead, and we were just talking about, he was telling me the craziest Elvis stories, because apparently they recorded with a guy that had worked with Elvis. Anyway, that's another story for another time. But all of a sudden this guy comes in, and he must have been the stagehand or the guitar tech or something like that for Mogwai, and he says, "Hey, who owns the leopard print JCM 800? And I said, "Oh, that's mine." And they said, "Oh, can we use it? Because they're really fucking loud and we need one." I said, yeah, go for it. So Mogwai ended up using my amplifier that night, and yeah, they were fucking loud. I'm surprised my amplifier held up, because, well, actually it's not really, because Marshalls are a beast and they can handle anything, but it was so fucking loud. And they already had a bunch of Marshalls anyway, and they just added them all together and cranked everything up. It was so fucking insane. It was like, yeah, my ears were just rumbling, and I was wearing earplugs, and they were still fucked from the next day. But anyway, I saw the D4 a bunch of times. Every time they came to Adelaide, I was there watching them. They were always a great band, great rock and roll band from New Zealand, and they just kicked ass all the time. They ended up, you know, moving to England, and then they started like breaking it around the world. They were on the Craig Kilborn show in the USA.
New Music Express compared to Next Guest Music to being smacked in the face with a cricket bat by a gang of drug-crazed Hells Angels. They've come all the way from New Zealand just to play the single Get Loose from their new CD 620, which comes out March 25th. Please welcome the D4.
They were on maybe Letterman or something like that, and it was amazing to see these guys that I watched play in a bar in Adelaide, you know, doing all of their stuff. You know, they're such a good band. And I remember when I was in the UK in 2002, one of their videos was getting like hammered on Kerrang TV constantly, and it was, yeah, I just remember they were in a van and they're like playing this instrument while they're in a van and whatever. And I just remember being blown away, just going, fuck man, I'm so happy for these guys. These guys are awesome. The D4 released 2 albums. They released 620, which is their first one, and they followed it up with Out of My Head, the second one. Sadly, I don't have these on vinyl. I never saw a copy of 620 on vinyl. Never like seen one, except for one time when I was at my friend's house in Sydney, and he goes, "Hey, do you have a copy on vinyl?" I was like, "Don't." And he showed it to me. I was like, "Fucking hell." You know, I've never seen one in Adelaide, but I'm still looking for it to this day. Still looking for 620 on vinyl. I don't think the second album ever got a vinyl release, which is a shame because the singles did, but I don't think the album ever did. But both albums are fantastic. And if you've never heard them before, you really need to. Make that a top priority as soon as you finish this video. Head to the search bar up above, type in the D4 and just knock yourself out because all their stuff is awesome. They released a bunch of singles. I got a few on CD, which I found really cheap. Just because, you know, they're around, so I grabbed them because, you know, when you're a completist, that's what you do. And then I got some vinyl 7-inches, which I bought when I was in the UK, and they were like 99p, and so I couldn't believe it. I got that one signed by 3 of the members. Unfortunately, I didn't get Beaver's signature on it, so, but yeah, I don't know why I didn't get him to sign it. I mean, I was hanging out with him, so it doesn't make sense, but anyway. And Get Loose, great song, and they do a cover of The Dogs, John Rock on the B-side. How awesome is that? And if you don't know the Dogs, you need to rectify that. Detroit rock and roll band that ended up moving to LA. Great band. They opened for like Van Halen once. It was crazy. Maybe it was the Van Halen and the Ramones show. I think the Dogs played as the opening band on that. Fucking hell. What a show that would have been. The Dogs, Van Halen and Ramones. And then you got this one, Ladies Man, which is great. And then Come On. So good. So that's all the vinyl that I have. But I got this set list from the very first time I ever saw them because I'm that guy that takes the set list off the stage when the band's finished. But as you can see, they also did Invader Ace, the Guitar Wolf song there, which they did for a Guitar Wolf tribute album called, I think it's called I Love Guitar Wolf Very Much. It's got Cooper on the cover. There's probably a picture of it right here, but that's a really good compilation as well. It's got the Wild Hearts on it and a bunch of bands, John Spencer and stuff. It's awesome. You really need that compilation too. I kept up with what the members are up to. Jimmy Christmas, the guitarist and singer of the band, ended up forming a band called Luga Boa, who had 2 albums out, I believe. Really, really good band. Maybe they had 3, I can't remember. But I know I've definitely got 2 CDs. And they're in a box somewhere. Unfortunately, I don't know where they are, but they're great. Really, really good band. Check them out if you can, or if you want to, or whatever. But it's a little bit different to D4. It's kind of a bit more, I guess, with D4 was pretty much garage rock and roll. Luga Boa are a bit more modern rock with a bit of alternative stuff, but still great. And I saw them one time. They came to Melbourne and they played at the Ding Dong Lounge, and they were fantastic. Fantastic band. In 2009, I went to America, and I knew that Dion was living in America. He had relocated over there, and he was living in New York City. I asked him, just by chance, if he was playing any shows while I was in New York. Funnily enough, he was. He was playing the same night of the day that I landed into New York City in 2009. This is in May, I believe. And he was playing a show at a place called the Union Pool. Now, he had a band at the time called The True Lovers. This album is fantastic. The video for the song Death Threat was done by my friend John Michael McCarthy, which is a great song, and it's a great video. And if you don't know John Michael McCarthy, add that to your list of people that you need to follow. He is a director out of Memphis, and he has done some amazing movies like Teenage Tupelo, Superstar AD, Elvis Meets the Beatles, The Sore Losers, which is the best of the 2 Guitar Wolf movies. Wild Zero is great, yes, I will give you that. But I think Sore Losers is a little bit better, but that's probably because it's got Delana Tunnell in it. But anyway, he did a video for The True Lovers, a song called Death Threat, which is a great video, and it's pretty cool that somebody that I knew from New Zealand that was now living in New York was doing a video with somebody I knew from Memphis. Small world, man. But this album is really, really good. Like, I highly recommend it. It's like a blues-based rock and roll album, and it's just a great record. Like, the songs are just fantastic, and the last song on it, Fade Away, is just so good. It is just such a... And Bang Bang. Bang Bang's a killer. It's not the song by Nancy Sinatra. But anyway, True Lovers, I don't know how easy this record is to find. It's probably not that hard, but look it up on Discogs or wherever. But this is, yeah, top solid album featuring Dion from the D4. And I know that after this band split, he did a band called Place to Bury Strangers, or he was a part of that band. And now he's gone solo, and his solo stuff is fucking awesome. So if you can get a hold of the solo stuff, do yourself a favor, because it's really, really good. But anyway, the reason I'm talking about this today was because I unearthed the video that I took of the True Lovers at the Union Pool in 2009, and I'm going to present that for you right now. So thank you so much for watching once again. Put your feet up for the next 10 minutes or so. We're going to sit back and watch the True Lovers live at the Union Pool in 2009. I only got 3 songs, so from memory, I didn't stay for the whole show because I actually had a ticket to see the Mummies play, and they were playing just down the street at a place called Southpaw. And so I stayed as long as I possibly could for the True Lovers and watched as many songs as I could, but maybe I actually saw the whole set and I only filmed 3 songs because, I don't want to be that guy who just holds up a video camera for anything. Wasn't a lot of people there, but it was a great show nonetheless. So yeah, like I said, sit back, grab yourself a drink and enjoy the show. This is The True Lovers. I'm Damo. Thank you so much for watching the Long Gone Loser Rock Show. I will see you in the next video.
turning back. I know you're restless, but this time no need to rush into the answer is mine. You wanna fight a war that's been won. Come on baby, grab a hold of your gun. I'll undress you, but there's no need for that. You can leave the heels on when the bells ring in me. Come with me, and you'll find a guilty pleasure number 9. Guilty pleasure number 9. So divine, guilty pleasure number 9. Have the treasure, no return.